Hey guys, it's the Dr. Ride. It's Friday. We apologize in advance for the lighting. These lights in the back might kick off here in a second. We don't know how it's going to look momentarily, but anyway, we want to stay consistent with these videos that we've been making, and we felt like it was a really good time to make an update video. So Mac's going to tell you about what we're going to talk about today, and we'll go ahead and get into it.
Yeah. So we just crossed our 100th ride last week. We're somewhere in the 115, 120 ride range, and we felt like it was a good time to give just a quick update. The whole point of this channel is to just document the journey for people who are new to the business or thinking about getting into the business. We want this to be a channel that you can refer to, help you realize some do's and some don'ts, some tips and some tricks to help you out along your journey. And also, we just want to do this to document things and see where we're going from the ground up. So that's the whole point of this video and this channel. So since we just crossed our 100th ride, we wanted to drop in and kind of talk about the roles that we've taken on. This would be very challenging if it was just one person starting this business. So I myself,
Totally agree.
yeah, I myself have been giving most of the rides. I've probably given 95% of the rides. Ray's given a couple here and there. Ray has been handling most of the answering of the phone, the online presence, our social media. So we just wanted to drop in and give a couple of things that we've learned about along the way, some things that have been really helpful. And yeah, so do you want to?
Yeah, I totally like to reiterate how difficult I think it would be to run this well if you were by yourself. You know, as you mentioned, I've been doing a decent amount of the dispatch, and I'm not even the only person doing the dispatch. We also have another woman that works with us, and she's been great about helping us, be available to answer the phone. We basically have a system set up where the calls are routed to all of us, so we can all kind of see when a call is coming in, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just really good to have a few people available to answer the phone. We think it's really important to be the company that answers. I can't remember if we talked about this in an earlier video, but when we were researching this business, we were surprised at how many people didn't answer the phone when we were simply just trying to reach out and find out some information about their
Mm-hmm.
business when
Mm-hmm.
we were doing our market research.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just to reiterate that, I think that it's possible to do this as an individual, but if you've got a business partner or someone that you want to do this business with, two people is great. If you have three people, that's honestly that's optimal, because again, Mackenzie's taken on that driver role. The woman that works with us, she has taken on the dispatch role, and I've been helping out with that as well. And then that's really allowed me to be able to focus on the sales and marketing side of things, and maintaining the online presence, and going out and doing the walk-ins and doing the organic networking, which we'll get into a little bit later in this video.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mac's going to go ahead and get into it, and yeah, let's do it.
Sick. All right. Heck yeah. Okay. So I've been focusing on more of the driving side. So I'm the person who is driving. I'm showing up 10 minutes early to every single appointment, meeting the people face to face, making them feel comfortable and secure in the vehicle, and getting them to their appointments on time. And also, we offer a door-to-door service. Some of the people have called for us, and we also offer our wait and return service. So for those people who need commonly we see colonoscopies or cataract surgeries, I'm having to walk in physically to the appointments to show the doctor's office, hey, I'm their driver. I'm in uniform. I fill out usually a little piece of paper with my contact information on it, so that way the doctor's office can call us whenever the patient client is ready to come out and their appointment is over, right? So that's been me. So the biggest thing I would tell someone who's thinking about starting this business is just how important it is to stay on your toes. Not only when you're driving, right? That should go without saying. I think that we're in Charlotte, North Carolina. It has some of the craziest drivers on the roads, and so driving for sure. Obviously, being a very defensive driver is extremely important. Keeping your distance. I am several car lengths behind the car in front of me. Just knowing what's going on. Just safe driving is a totally separate topic for a video, but also just watching these people as they're walking into their appointments or getting into the van. I have some people who tell me we have a pretty big van here, and this is our only vehicle right now, as we've said in other videos. And in our previous video, we did a little showcase of our van. You can see there's a couple steps up to get into our van. I have people all the time that tell me they don't need help getting into the van, and that's fine. But I can assure you, I am very close by as they are stepping up into the van with my arms out if they need me. And I tell them, hey, I'm right here if you need me, right? But sometimes, these people need an extra hand or two. And oftentimes I find myself just putting the wheelchair lift down for a older person with a walker who just can't get their leg high enough to get. So just being aware about, even though if they say they don't need help, right, what is the easiest and safest thing to do here? Because the last thing you want is someone getting hurt, right, in the vehicle trying to get in or out. It would just cause so many extra easily avoidable headaches, right? It's just about being aware and understanding that, these people are moving a little bit slower sometimes and they're not feeling well sometimes. So you as the driver being on your P's and Q's and being aware and alert about everything is extremely important. So that, I don't know, man, that's my biggest
Yeah.
tip, because people are just sometimes just not exactly aware themselves of what's going on, or I know people can be
Especially
stuck.
if they're maybe just came off sedation or.
Yeah, exactly.
So something I want to add, that this is a little bit of a mix of dispatch, but this involves the driver, is that when we're making these appointments, when we're confirming rides, I've been trying to get as much information as I can about the pickup location and the scenario, because when the driver arrives, sometimes, like we want to know like we want the driver to know exactly what they need to do, right? Like for instance, I booked a ride recently where, I asked the person booking the ride, like if there was anything specific I should know about the pickup, and they were like, oh well, now that you mention it, I actually, there's no house number or mailbox at my house. It's actually pretty hard to identify which house it is. So they gave me a description of the house and like a few things that I was basically able to input into our dispatch system, so that our driver, is not circling around looking for them.
Mm.
So that's kind of more of a dispatch thing, but just finding as much information as you can to give to the driver so that they can, serve the client better.
I'd shout out really quick, shout out Bambi on that, the dispatch software that we use for this, because it allows me as a driver to see all these notes very easily when I'm
Yeah.
heading to pick up. So that is the app that we use. Bambi is extremely helpful for all that kind of stuff that the dispatcher is putting in for me to see. Another tip is that the wheelchair is not always in the best condition, and that's something to check as a driver before you are getting the person into the van. Make sure that the wheels and everything are good, like
The brakes
the
work.
brakes work. Get
Sometimes
yourself,
there's wheelchair where one brake
yeah,
doesn't work, and that kind of makes things a lot more
dude, yeah,
complicated.
so more common than you would think. It's not something you would think about. And some of these people have had these wheelchairs for years. So before you start moving the person around, just do a quick eye check inspection of that wheelchair. The last thing I'll say is, and this is something my grandfather just drilled into me as a kid, is that on time means 10 minutes early. These people are moving a little slower. Sometimes there's traffic. The other day, I had to go pick up a gentleman, take him to a doctor's appointment, and there was a train that was blocking the path. Didn't make us late to the appointment because I was early, right? But had I been exactly on time, he would have been a little bit late. So 10 minutes early is on time. You never know what kind of traffic you're going to run into. It's not the kind of vehicle you want to be driving in a rush. So, yeah, I would say that's the last thing I would say, is that 10 minutes early is on time.
Awesome.
Cool. I'm going to hand it over to Ray now. He's going to talk about some of our online presence and answering the phone. I got a couple things to add to some of the stuff I know you're going to say, but
Yeah.
yeah, take it away, dude.
To talk about our online presence, essentially, we have created the Dr. Ride brand, and we have a website, we have a Google business page or Google business profile, we have a Facebook business page, and we also have, what is the we don't even, we have a listing on it, but I can't even remember what it's called.
The Yelp stuff.
Yeah, we have a Yelp listing as well. So those are the main ones we use. I would say the biggest ones we're focusing on are our Google business profile and the website, and I would say Facebook's probably third on there.
Mm-hmm.
We really just created the Yelp listing just because we didn't want someone to end up on Yelp, be searching for our business, and have it say not claimed. Um, we could talk about this in another video. Yelp has some different paid options. I have personally never used it. I've heard really mixed reviews from other business owners that I know. So we can talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, the biggest thing is, having a website set up and having it look professional, have it look good, regularly update it with new photos or information. Make sure that anything that someone is potentially wondering about your business can be found on that website, with the exception of pricing. That's the one thing we don't have on our website, and the reason being is because we offer a couple different types of services, and we want the opportunity for them to give us a call so we can show them that we're going to answer the phone, or that if we happen to miss it, that we're going to call them right back. So that's what we've chosen to do. I know some providers have their pricing on their website. We would prefer for them to call us, find out a little bit more about what exactly they need, and then let them know what service would work best for them in that scenario, and then provide the pricing at that point. Personal preference, but aside from that, I think pretty much anything you would be curious about our business can be found on our website, or even on our Facebook or Google page, right? So all the information is consistent across all the platforms. It's regularly updated, and yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. Something that Mackenzie's been absolutely crushing it on helping me with the online presence is he's been actually getting a lot of our customers to leave us a Google review or a Facebook review, and reviews are everything nowadays. Whether you're going to a restaurant or you're getting an NEMT ride, if you look up a business and you can't find a Google business page for that business, it automatically makes it seem a little less real or a little less professional. If you look it up and you can find them on Facebook, they have a website and they have a Google business page with a service area. I mean, that's way more professional than a business that doesn't have any of those things, or just one or
For sure.
the other.
For sure.
And again, Yelp, I think it's important to probably claim your business and put your basic information on there. I don't know if it's necessary to, pay. I think they even charge you like $1 a day to put your logo on your profile. We didn't even do that. We just claimed it, put all of our information in there. So if someone were to go there, they can still find us, but it's not really it's not a lead source we really spent a lot of time or money on. So to talk about where we are with our whole online presence and brand and how it's bringing us customers, we're at the point now of where we're having, with the exception of today, was a little bit of a lighter day. We still had a few calls, but yesterday, for instance, I think we had 10 plus calls, and I think 8 of them were potential customers that were requesting quotes or trying to find out more information. So we're getting a lot of calls from our online presence. We also have a place on our website where people can fill out forms, like fill out a form to request more information or book a ride. And we've been getting people filling those forms out as well. So pretty consistent flow of business coming in. And, if I'm answering the phone, I try to ask them, hey, out of curiosity, where'd you find our business? A lot of the times people just find us on Google, which is great. I've been spending a lot of time on Google Search Console, making sure that our site, and I don't want to nerd out on this too hard, but making
out.
this could be a whole video in itself, but essentially just making sure that when when people are in an area searching for a particular service, Google is going to go to all the potential sites that might be a good match for them, right? So it's essentially crawling a bunch of websites. So we've spent a lot of time making sure that our website is set up properly in that regard, so that Google is finding our site. We're a newer business, so it's only been online for a couple months, but for most searches people are doing for this kind of thing, we're on the first page at the bottom. We're at the top of the second page. Some things we're at the very top. Like if someone were to type in "ride to doctor," right? We're going to be the top. We're going to be the number one thing.
Yeah.
So, which people do find us through that.
Which is why we named our business what we did. I was trying to think about what are people going to be Googling,
Yeah.
And you want it to sound catchy. You don't want it to be like medical transportation for seniors. That's just not a good name. Dr. Ride has a ring to it, I think. People like the name.
It's a brand.
Yeah, it's a brand.
It's memorable, and yeah, it does have that extra, like, yeah. When it is, so the Google Search Console, you can see kind of what people search to end up on your site, right? And there's a decent amount of people that, not a crazy amount, but there's people that landed on our site from typing in "ride to doctor," and we just happen to be the first thing. So yeah, I think it'd probably be good for us to just make a video on that like specific aspect of it. But I say all that to say I really just spent a lot of time making sure that our online presence was set up well, so that we have a consistent flow of potential customers. giving us a call. Additionally, I have been writing blog posts that are full of keywords that people would search for. So, for instance, a service we offer is the wait and return service. And someone that might use that would be someone that's getting a colonoscopy, right? Let's say someone doesn't have anyone to give them a ride that day and wait for them for colonoscopy. I basically have just written several articles. They're full of keywords, and I can see on Google Search Console that people are ending up on our site from these miscellaneous blog posts. I'm also posting them on our Facebook page as well to give our Facebook page some more content, and it links back to the site. So that can create more visits to your site if people happen to stumble upon some of these articles. So I would say that those are the biggest things with the online portion. Now, I do want to touch on the boots on the ground marketing side of things. So when we were first getting started in this, prior to even having a vehicle, got a bunch of marketing materials made, right? Yeah. Brochures, business cards.
Got one right here.
Yeah, there's one right there.
This is one of our brochures that we've handed out hundreds, if not thousands.
And these are like the three.
Yeah. We've actually updated this since, and this is one of our older ones. I keep it in the van, but.
Yeah. So anyway, these we had some miscellaneous marketing materials like this, and we can even do a video in the future about what we're handing out because I do think it's important. I will touch on it in this video, but yeah, basically at the beginning, Mackenzie was doing most of the walk-ins. He's going to all sorts of places that would potentially have customers that they could refer to us. As we've gotten busier, he doesn't have the time to do that anymore. He's on the road all day, every single day at this point. Like we are at the point of where we're fully booked out with this vehicle. So I have stepped into the role of doing the boots on the ground marketing. So I've been going to all sorts of places. I mean, small pharmacies, assisted living facilities, doctor's offices, dentist office, plastic surgery places. What's another kind of interesting one?
Oh, like you went this last week.
Yeah, ketamine centers.
Yeah.
For ketamine treatment. Basically anything you can think of where someone is going to need a ride.
The plastic sorry to cut you out. The plastic surgery places are actually a good one because they're having people come in from out of town, and they are also open on the weekends. So we've had a couple calls on Saturdays to pick people up because plastic surgery,
it's also an elected thing, and we're private pay at this point. So
right.
Most of the time when someone's getting plastic surgery, they've elected to do so, and they're already paying out of pocket. So they're coming into town. They don't know anyone here. They're staying at a hotel, right? It's just convenient for them to have this type of service.
Those places are extremely nice. We've walked into several of them. Some of them are just really, really nice places. And they want to know that they can refer a transportation company that is going to be an extension of their already really nice business, right? And that is exactly the gap we are aiming to fill. Again, with a brand new van, would come in to the facility, we'll meet them in the facility in their room, walk out with them. Last Saturday, I carried the lady's bags out for her, got her in the van. I mean, nothing crazy, but the facility really appreciates that extra level of care.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different ways you can do this business, but the way that we want to do it is we want to provide that premier service, and like he said, we want our service to be an extension of these places, right? So when you're walking into some of these places, it feels like you're stepping into a Better Homes and Gardens magazine. So that's why we feel like our service is a good fit for them when we're picking them up in brand new vehicles that are super clean and very comfortable. So So back to just to talk about the in-person boots on the ground marketing just a tiny bit more. Some of the things that I'm leaving at facilities and different places. If I'm going to a doctor's office, I normally leave some pens. We have some Dr. Ad pens available, and it has our phone number. I can't remember if it has our website on there, but it definitely says non-emergency medical transportation. It has the Dr. Ad on it, and it it's just a nice thing to leave, like with the receptionists. They're using it, obviously. Like every time I bring pens, they're like, "Oh, we always need more pens. Give me some pens." So just handing those things out like candy, along with sticky pads. So we've got some Dr. Ride branded sticky pads as well. So I leave those there.
I know a lady at one of the doctor's offices I go to. I gave her some sticky pads. She wrote my phone number down on it, and it's at her computer. This is for a woman I take to a consistent appointment every single week. and she points to the little sticky pad where she wrote my phone number down. She's like, I got it right here, and it's like on her computer, you know. So
Yeah,
that was worked great.
yeah, the pens and sticky pads is great because also like it's helpful. I mean, it's just a nice thing to leave, and it's a
Yeah,
great marketing
doctors'
tool.
offices are using sticky pads like crazy. Okay,
Yeah,
they're writing notes down. So the goal
they're stuck
is,
everywhere now.
yeah, the
Yeah.
goal is that we have doctors' offices that have hundreds of our sticky pads just laying around. At the very top, it has our logo with our phone number on it.
So if they, even if it's someone that doesn't normally like or need us that much, if like they just happen
Someone
to go,
asks,
oh, like where are those?
right?
Here's
Yeah,
a there's a transportation service on one of these notepads.
yeah, that's
So
right.
it's just that. I mean, as little as that. Another thing is I made some what are they called? They're fridge magnets. They're
Mm.
essentially business cards, but they're fridge magnets. They look a little different, but they look really good. They're small, but you know the idea there is you go hand those out to these different offices and stuff like that, and hopefully they end up on the break room fridge or they get stuck to a filing cabinet. We're handing them out to people that are riding with us, so hopefully they go and put it on their fridge. So we're just top of mind. We obviously leave those brochures anywhere we go. Yeah, I mean, simple stuff, but like I don't know. I think it's important. I don't know how many other. I'm sure other people are doing this. I don't know how many other NEMT companies are going to that level of like really trying to hand out a bunch of stuff. We're just trying to be top of mind when people happen to need the service, right? Because a lot of the times, like these people don't need it all the time, but we just want to be top of mind when they do.
Mm-hmm.
So the last thing I want to talk about, boots on the ground wise, with the marketing side of things, is that we recently did a senior citizens expo in town that the Chamber of Commerce put on, and it was a great opportunity for us to basically get out, in front of a couple hundred people, as well as 30, 40 other vendors.
Yeah, just businesses that are parallel to what we're doing.
Yeah, there wasn't any other
No,
transportation providers there, but there was a lot of in-home care providers and some,
some insurance
some
people, some,
insurance. Yeah, there's some banking stuff. I mean,
yeah,
there's a handful of other businesses, which it was a really good opportunity for us to just actually we basically paid to get a table set up, and I ordered a tablecloth, like a branded Dr. Rad tablecloth, and one of these big like 6 foot by 4 foot big banners, and I basically I designed it, put pictures of the vehicle, put pictures of Mackenzie in his uniform on there, and some different stuff. And
it was just pictures of me on
yeah,
there.
there wasn't any pictures of me on there, but anyway, it really I mean, these
Looked
big,
really good.
and I don't even think that thing was that much. It might have been $150, 160 bucks for this thing, and I mean, when we were at this thing, we literally had people be like, "Oh, that." I mean, everybody that walked by like saw the banner. I mean, it's simple, but it definitely. I mean, it just added that extra level of professional.
Yeah, it was
Um,
great to be able to point to it because I had pictures of the van on it. Like, yeah, this is our
yeah,
van
they'd
right
ask like,
here.
"What do you like?
Yeah,
What's the vehicle or what
and you could just
vehicles are you
point
using?" And
right to it.
this is it right here, actually. And this is one of our
Yeah, I'm
drivers.
right here, right? So we're connecting all the dots.
So it was great. I think we probably handed out. I mean, we probably
A
handed
ton
out,
of fridge magnets.
yeah, 250 fridge magnets,
Yeah,
a bunch of pens, a bunch of pamphlets, a couple hundred pamphlets, and then also while I was manning the booth, Mackenzie was able to go around to every other vendor that was there,
mm-hmm.
and he gave every single vendor a lot of our brochures and some pens or whatever. So
Yep.
yeah, that's what we've done more recently on the marketing side of things, and how that basically comes back around to how the business is doing overall. As I mentioned, the van's on the road every single day. We're really at the point now of where we really need another vehicle at this point, and we strategically have been operating this business to limit our risk. So we secured a pretty well. Mackenzie secured a pretty good contract before we even had a vehicle, and he was totally transparent. He said, "Hey, we're just getting into this business. We can get a vehicle whenever. We just don't want to get one until we have you know enough rides to basically make it at least pay for itself." So getting into it, I mean, I think we broke even the first month maybe just with that contract he'd gotten us, and we're really just trying to limit our risk here. So as we don't want to grow too quickly and get to the point of where we have too many vehicles and not enough rides or anything like that, but I think we've done a decent enough job with the marketing and getting the word out there. And on the service side of things, he's doing a great job. So we're having return clients. They're referring us to other people. I say all that to say we're getting busier every single day. I think that the marketing side of things, I think we've done a pretty decent job with it, and I think we're at the point of where it's like, okay, let's get another vehicle. Let's keep it rolling because I think last week we turned down $1,000 worth of rides easily. Right now, I think our next vehicle we're planning on getting is a one of the smaller Ford Transit Connects that we can do most of our ambulatory rides and have this one focus on more wheelchair rides. So that's kind of the goal at this point. Once we grab this other vehicle, I'm going to take a step back from the sales and marketing role just a little bit. I'll still maintain all the online stuff, obviously, but maybe a little less walk-in appointments for a little while as we basically fill that van up. Um, but yeah, the goal would be to get the other van to the point of where it's also full and booked every single day, and at that point, that's where we are going to hire a driver.
Yeah.
And then I'll get back out on the streets and go bang on some more doors. And we've got some more of those different expos and different stuff coming up in the month of January. Actually, I'm sorry, we have one on December 23rd of this year that I think will be a really good one. But
and January and February.
yeah, so we've got these events lined up. I can't say whether or not we've actually received any calls from anything we handed out there, but I just can't imagine out of the 500-600 pieces of marketing material that we handed out that day that we won't get one call. And for us to do that event, I mean, we probably spent maybe $600-$700 between like what we handed out and the cost
ticket
to do it. Yeah.
It's like we're going to hand out hundreds of these at each senior expo, and someone's going to probably need us one day here or there. And I want to transition really quick. The last thing I want to say into what you've been doing a lot of, and Debbie, has been answering the phone and how important it is to answer the phone. Okay. I know we talked about it in a previous video. Like Ray and I come from a real estate background. Hustle is the name of the game when it comes to that, right? And we've just applied that to this business. Answering the phone is extremely, extremely important. And I think
Can I add something onto
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Answering the phone and when you're giving quotes out, asking them for their contact information. So we basically, because a lot of these people too will call, maybe they're shopping around, but they might call back. So
Mm-hmm.
getting their information of who's calling before we hand out a quote to say, okay, who's this calling? We got their number. And then what's a good email for you? So when we do give them a quote, we will actually send them an email too, so they have something to refer back to. But
Yeah. Now I was going to say, very good point, because what we've learned is there's, and this is just, I'm going to generalize. There's about two different, let's call them archetypes of people who will call the line. Okay. You either have the elderly person who is calling for themselves. They just left a doctor's appointment. They have an upcoming doctor's appointment that is not scheduled yet, and they know they're going to need transportation for it. They're going to spend all day calling around, figuring out prices, getting quotes from people to find the best one, and then they're going to go with it. They're not in a rush. They're not in a rush. The other type of person that's calling is a child who is calling for their parent who needs transportation.
An adult child.
An adult child, right? Yes.
Well, does that make sense?
I don't know.
An adult whose parent needs transportation.
Yep. They are calling, and that person, the adult who is calling because their parent needs transportation, is way more likely, we have realized, to book right there on the spot because it's going to solve their problem, right? They are thinking for themselves to solve the problem for their parent, right? They want a quick and easy solution. Those people, at least I feel like you've answered more of the phone, but I feel like just based on the right, because I'm talking to these people in the van, right? They want a quick and easy solution. And when you got when you got mom or dad that has some money in a retirement account, or you got a couple brothers and sisters who can pool some funds together to pay for it, it's more about finding a company that gives you a good feeling and feels professional.
Provides a solution.
Yeah, provides a solution right there. So
they're not maybe, they might not be as concerned, like, because more or less, we've mentioned it before, our pricing is higher than a lot of the other providers, but it's also not the highest one.
Right.
And when they call and they can actually like get someone on the phone immediately, it gives them a good feeling, and that's what we're going for, right? We want to provide that good service. We are in the process of doing a direct mail campaign that, I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work, but we've got a really nice letter that we're sending out to a couple hundred different doctors' offices and different retirement communities and facilities, basically just letting them know about our services and how we'd like to be a resource for their residents or their patients if they need any assistance with non-emergency medical transportation. I don't know if anyone's ever sent anything like that for this industry. I have no idea. We've sent a lot of direct mail as real estate professionals, and it does work well. It's probably one of our best marketing sources.
Yep.
I have no idea what kind of feedback it's going to get. But yeah, I'm excited. So by the time we make another video, I'll definitely be able to let you know one way or another whether you should spend the money on it. But yeah, I've already bought the data, come up with a letter, and we use a mail house for our real estate business that has everything set up. So should be a month or so before I can let you know. But yeah, I'm really excited to see.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that could be the turning point of where hey, we need two more vehicles. Well, I just you have no idea what that might end up producing. It could be another contract for the facility. It could be two. Could be nothing. I really have no idea. So
At the end of the day, this business is simple, but it is not easy. There's a lot of moving pieces. As we scale, we're going to have a lot more things to talk about with drivers, multiple vehicles. And right now we're small, we're just the one vehicle. But I would say we're at the point now where we know it's going to work. It's just a matter of now we got to actually scale it up and turn it into something that is actually making decent money that can be a viable business. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
last thing that I want to mention is that I'm in the process right now of basically creating a small community
Ooh,
focused on the sales and marketing and the
tell them,
branding
tell them about it.
aspects of this business. This doesn't really have anything to do with the operational stuff at this point, but I looked around online, when we were first getting into this and more recently, and I didn't really find a group quite like quite like this, but basically the community is on school.com. If you haven't heard of it, it's an educational platform. But essentially I'm building a small community. It's a private community. I'm reviewing everybody that attempts to join it, just so that I can actually get people in the group that either want to get into NEMT or currently have an NEMT business. So that's what I'm working on right now. I really just want to get a group of NEMT providers that are serious, and essentially I'm going to hold a weekly Zoom call where everybody can get on if you're free, obviously, and basically we're just going to do a weekly update. We're going to talk about what's working good this week, what isn't, just share wins, share losses, just a place where we can basically communicate with other like-minded business owners. I'd like to try to find more people in my own community in real life actually that are doing this. I don't really know that many people that are doing this business, but you know across the whole United States, I mean, there's a lot of people that are doing this. So I'd like to connect with a lot of them if I can. Additionally, in the community, I'm in the process of creating some different, free courses in there. Like I've got one in there already, which basically goes over the branding and the creating the online presence, which basically takes a deep dive on how we came up with our brand, including our logo, the colors, the name. We talk about setting up a website, setting up the Google business profile, setting up the Facebook business page, setting
Yeah.
up the really basic Yelp account.
My
Um,
uniform. You guys should see the shoes I wear every single day. Ray
you,
picked them out because he wanted to find some non-slip doctor-looking
that
shoes
you
that
could
I wear
drive in.
that you can drive in, right? So I wear these.
Also, too, if they were to get like bodily fluids or anything on them, like you could clean them
Yeah,
easily. It's
yeah.
not
I've cleaned them several times with just Clorox wipes. I just take those Clorox wipes right there and I just wipe my shoes off, and they're back to brand new white looking. I mean, it's great. So,
little
anyways,
little things like that. So we're going to continue to put these YouTube videos out, but if you're someone that is thinking about getting into the non-emergency medical transportation business and you're really serious about it, or if you already have one and you just want to network and think you could provide some value to the community, we'd love to have you in there. You can leave a comment on this video.
let's put the
Um,
link to the school thing in the description.
yeah, we'll put the link in the description. But yeah, we really appreciate you guys watching this video. We know these aren't the most professional videos, but we want to hold ourselves accountable and continue to put them out there. And we want to be able to look back on this and have some sort of documentation on how we were doing along the way, what we did. It'll be great in a couple of years to look back and be like, oh, that was a great move, or oh, no, that wasn't. Whatever. We're just being totally transparent and honest
Yeah,
about what we're doing here, and we want this to help other people that are thinking about getting into this. We want this to be a resource for people that are
that's right.
considering doing this, or people that are currently doing it that are trying to make some changes to their business or improve their business. So
That's
that's
right.
that's where we're coming from with this. We really appreciate you watching this video. If you made it this far,
That's right.
definitely
Like and subscribe.
like and subscribe. Click on the link.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We're about progress, not perfection. We're just trying to put the videos out. We know the lighting's not the best, but it's been a little while. It's probably been about a month to put a video out. Just holidays. I'm out of town, he's out of town. We're just trying to do the best before it gets hectic, but we're trying to stay consistent in doing this, and we are learning as we're going. We're building this from the ground up, baby, and you're going to get the whole thing. You're going to get the whole kit and caboodle. Join the school thing if you're curious. Seriously, Ray has built all of our websites that we've ever had, our real estate websites. He's probably built 10, 15 websites at this point. He
Built a lot
actually
of websites.
knows what he's doing. Is I can't take any credit for that. It's all him. He knows what he's doing when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
And our phone is ringing every single day, not an exaggeration, whether it's 5 phone calls or 15 phone calls. Coming from a real estate background where it has been a ton of outbound marketing, like you have to send text messages or mail or whatever to get people to call you, it has been incredible to see the organic response that we are getting from just having a professional looking website and a decent looking Facebook. You know what I mean? So it has actually been killer. So go check out that school thing. Ray's putting a lot of effort into that, and I definitely think it's worth it. Did you order Chili's?
It should be. I didn't order this. What address are you going to? I just know, like I'm the only one that lives here, and I didn't order it. Okay. Take care.
Should have taken that Chili's, dude.
We're just like two dudes in this van in the dark in the corner. You're like, did you order Chili's?
Yeah, I was so
Dude,
surprised.
I hate Chili's. I didn't order Chili's. But anyway, thanks again for sticking with us.
That's right.
I'm gonna go get that Chili's.
Yeah, thanks, guys. See you on the next one.